Hey guys, it's Sticky Ricky and I'm back with another informative video. The reason I'm making this video is because once again, I looked around online and didn't see anything that represented what I'm going to show you guys. So what I'm about to show you is my favorite overhead pressing movement. Let me take that back. What I'm about to show you is my favorite pressing movement in general at this moment in time. Because as you guys may have figured out, I'm currently in an obsessive state with pressing, specifically overhead, but all pressing in general because I really want to bring it up. I want to make up for the lack of pressing that I've incorporated in my training in the last 4 years. So, as I have mentioned, my shoulders have been feeling a little tweaky lately due to all the overhead pressing that I've been doing. Originally, I started with pronated grip pressing like everyone does for the most part. And then that started to feel a little tweaky. So I switched to neutral grip on the Swiss bar. That started to feel a little tweaky as well. I went to the closest grip on the Swiss bar, about like so, pressing, high incline and overhead with it. And I still feel a little something something. It's better obviously, because the closer grip you go, the easier it's going to be on your shoulders. But it's still a little tweaky. So, of course, what I'm talking about now, my favorite movement at this particular place and time is going to be a supinated grip, close grip, overhead press, or I also do it with a very high incline. Now the reason that I like this so much, guys, is to demonstrate what I do, right? Like so, you can go nice and low with it too. You can either go here or start here. Show you from a different angle. Real close grip. You can see my elbows can't possibly flare out like so. They're tucked in. And if you pay attention to my humerus, okay, look at the big range of motion. I mean, we're talking, it's back. I can be back, and then it's all the way up. So, the reason I think this movement's so great is because I don't feel it at all in my shoulders. Now, of course, it's going to work your anterior delts to a degree, but where I actually feel it the most is in my pecs, my pec major. And of course, one of the primary functions of the pec major is flexion of the humerus. So it makes sense, right? This is no different than this, right? Without any of this. Like you can see if I was doing a conventional press, look at my humerus, right? It doesn't have that same flexion as when I'm going underhand. Or if you could do it with close grip as well. But then if you do a close grip, with a pronated grip, it's going to be incredibly awkward on your wrists and your elbows. It's going to hurt like a beast. So naturally, the supinated grip is going to feel the most comfortable and natural. Naturally going to feel the most natural. So that's the reason I'm making this video in the first place, guys. 2 reasons. If you find that all pressing is buggy, then switch to supinated close grip. Now the problem with supinated close grip, flat bench, or even a small incline, is that the lockout's going to feel, it just doesn't feel good. But if you do it in a very high incline or just standing overhead press, it feels incredibly natural. The downfall of it is you're not going to be able to use as much weight, of course, because you're not able to get as much of your deltoids in the movement. But that's also the plus of the movement, is you're going to feel it more than anything, at least in my opinion, in your chest. You're going to feel it in your chest and, of course, naturally in your triceps. But I find that this movement I really get it feeling in my upper chest. Now, I understand you can't necessarily target your upper and your lower chest, right? That's just bodybuilding lingo. But the combination of it being close grip and then with this nice flexion of the humerus, I don't know what it is, but it's just insane. It's like doing an overhead press combined with like a pec deck or a fly. So if you guys haven't tried it before, I strongly urge you to try it. With that being said, it's not going to be a primary compound movement that you should do for your pressing. Like it's not going to replace anything. Maybe if overhead pressing always hurts you, that can be your go-to. But I find that it's a great warm-up or a great finisher. So like what I do, for instance, is like when I start my workouts, I'll even start with the empty bar. I'll rep that for about 20 reps or so, getting a pump in my chest. And then I'll up it by 10, 20 pounds every time. And the most I've ever done with that so far was 225, but that was more with shoulder width. The most that I've done with the close grip, man, with 205. I mean, it's almost taking the shoulders completely out of it. Again, it'll work your anterior delts, but it's mainly your pecs and your triceps. So it's just something to throw in as a nice finisher, mainly for bodybuilding purposes, because remember, for strength purposes, specificity is always going to be king. Unless you've completely plateaued and nothing is getting you through that hump, you got to try every little tip and trick in the book. But from bodybuilding point of view, if you feel like your chest is lagging and you've been doing your flat bench, or you've tried your dips or your declines and your conventional overhead presses and inclines, that's just something to throw in there. It's certainly not going to hurt, like I said. Just don't be stupid with it. Using a straight bar would be fine, obviously, but it's just going to be more uncomfortable on your wrists, on your elbows. So I recommend easy curl bar, or of course you could always do the same thing just with dumbbells. And then with dumbbells, right, you could slightly rotate on your way up. But the whole point that I'm preaching here, the main thing is just focusing on that close grip, supinated pressing, because that's, in my opinion, I feel that in my chest more so than anything. I don't want to come off as a bro scientist, guys, but I mean, like I said, I've been working out for 20 years. That's something that, for whatever reason, I've never tried it before. I started doing the manliest exercise in the book of weightlifting history. All right, but I think it has its place. If you guys haven't tried it, try it out. Let me know what you think about it. It's something that I'm going to keep doing because, like I said, if you have nagging shoulders, shoulder pain or whatever, you can keep pressing. It won't flare up your shoulders at all. So it kind of comes back to the reoccurring theme that I'm always preaching in all of my videos, and that is frequency. Frequency is king, right? That's why greasing the groove is so beneficial, because you're so frequently doing this movement over and over and over again that your nervous system is becoming so efficient with it. Now, granted, this is not going to be the movement. I mean, it could be. It looks sweet. If you want to primarily focus on it, the more the better. I don't think it's possible to get snapped up with it unless you're stupid, because, right, it's supinated grips. There's less internal rotation. Just activating the pec major more. At least that's what I feel. Easy on the shoulders, nice pec pump, which it's very difficult. You can tear your pecs, but I mean that's only happening usually when people are doing snap city form on their bench, right? And then they're either tearing their rotator cuff or tearing their pec or leading to shoulder impingement. But I don't think people ever tear their pec doing insanely close grip pressing. So anyways, I'm starting to ramble now, guys, but like I said, I haven't seen anyone make a video about close grip, supinated overhead press. I certainly think it has its place. I'm going to incorporate it more. I'm going to do it as much as possible. I'm getting my rackable easy curl bar, so that way I'll be able to focus on it even more so. I'm going to start doing more close grip and reverse grip pressing. I'll let you guys know how that feels. Obviously keep you updated with strength gains in that regard. And then the bigger picture obviously is how does it carry over to flat bench, conventional flat bench, and conventional overhead press, because I'm sure I'm not much different than any of you guys. While a lot of you say you don't care about the major lifts, the majority of society does. So it's like, why would you want to be He-Man with a supinated close grip overhead press, but then be, I don't know, what's He-Man's side chick? She-Man? That's probably not it. But you know what I'm saying, with a conventional overhead press. So it's a way that you can ramp up frequency while being pretty specific to the end goal.